Welcome back. As we've been telling you this morning, we're expecting to learn today about Philadelphia's plans to reopen schools this fall. Meantime, the city's teachers union is weighing in on the possibility of returning to the classroom. Joining us live here this morning with more about their recommendations is the legislative representative for Philadelphia's Federation of Teachers, Linardopoulos. Hillary, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Janelle.
No, we appreciate it because we really want to hear from you. What do those recommendations include? What would you, as teachers, like to see if you do have to head back into the classroom?
So I think fundamentally we recognize at the Federation that our membership wants to be back in the classroom doing the job that they love, in person, face to face. There is nothing that can match the in-person, one-on-one interaction that a teacher can have with a student in the classroom. But in order to do that, our members and the students that we serve need to be safe. So there's a number of components that have to take place in order to even consider a reopening in person. So those include very simple things like making sure that there's stakeholder feedback. That is very, very critical. We've got to be listening to the parents, the teachers, the paraprofessionals, the support staff, in order to make sure that they have what they need to be successful in the classroom. We also need to look at really specific ways of doing deep cleaning and sanitizing of buildings. We've done a lot of research around the best practices and have developed a whole set of criteria regarding how to properly clean a workspace. We're also looking at really specific facilities evaluation and remediation efforts. So we're looking at making sure that we have functional windows. We're looking at making sure that we have an accurate count of functional sinks in classrooms and other areas in buildings so that students can have access to hand washing stations. We're also looking at really a robust remote program so that if there are needs to make a quick pivot to a remote learning, or if we are unable to open at the start of the year, that there will be something else in place that is really strong and that can help to mitigate some of the real challenges that exist with remote learning. We also really need to be tracking the course of the virus.
Right.
So over the last couple of weeks, there has been a significant shift in not only this massive national spike in cases, but we've also seen a plateau in local cases. So we need to make sure that in order to consider re-entering school buildings, we need a local downward trajectory, and it's got to be sustained.
And it sounds like, you guys have a lot of concerns, hoping for some reassurances from the district. We're expected to get a more detailed outline as to what the district has planned from the superintendent during that press conference later this morning. If you guys do have to continue remote learning, which we'd imagine that will happen in some capacity, do you feel like you as teachers, because you're kind of thrown into it in the spring, do you think that you guys have enough training to continue that remote learning situation that may have to happen?
So I think one of the critical components is making sure that this plan is in development now. We are mid-July, and we want to make sure that our members have the opportunity to engage in the development of that plan, in that they are able to, ask for the supports that they will need. So I think that everybody was building the plane while flying it in the spring. Everybody was thrown into it. So we need a much more developed program so that if there is a return to remote learning, that we can do it in the very best way possible. Members worked really hard this spring. Students, families worked really hard this spring to make it work. So we just really want to have everything in place to ensure that they have what they need.
Absolutely. Hillary, you and all the teachers out there, a big hats off to you, because we know it was such a tough undertaking given the circumstances. So we'll be watching closely along with you for that press conference today. Best of luck in the fall, and thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.